the city web page. That did not happen this year, and so consequently I was contacted by the CEC and asked to provide an update, and it has been prepared consistent with California Air Resources Board guidelines and the CEC requirements. So once reviewed, considered, and if adopted, this power content label and power source disclosure report would be deemed accepted, and the resolution is an attestation of the of the veracity, the accuracy of the power source disclosure report. The report is consistent with the label, the content label, and it's just the official declaration of where we are acquiring our power, whether it's solar, geothermal, hydroelectric, or from the LEC or other source. Again, this is something that the city does every year. Every publicly owned utility is under this same requirement. There is a lot of discussion currently within the California Air Resources Board and the CEC of scrapping this system altogether. But as of right now, it's a regime that we are under, and I respectfully request and recommend the passage of Resolution 2025-06, attesting to the veracity of the power source disclosure report.
Okay. Any questions for Cliff on this?
It's never came before the council before. That's the new part. It's always the staff has just did it, or.
I can only speak to last year. I confirm that it's not on the website. I confirm with CEC staff that they did not receive the actual power source disclosure label in the correct format. There was an item under this heading brought to the council, but it appears to have been informational only. And this is something that actually requires an associated resolution. This is an official attestation by the council of the veracity of the label as well as the disclosure report.
That's a mouthful.
And where this comes from, when we purchase power, Northern California Power Agency that we're affiliated with, those power sources have renewable energy credits associated with them. It's kind of like a stock market value, if you will. And those are accrued and tracked. They're transferred to us by NCPA. And then we are under obligation to move those into our Regis account, which is like a banking system. And we categorize them, we manage them, and every year we retire them for the previous year. Upon retirement, we have the system generate a report to the California Electrical Commission. So it's a third-party independent report that gives them the overview of our entire power portfolio. So they understand whether we're on track to meet the goals and objectives that California has set for renewable clean power. And so we are on track mainly because NCPA keeps us on track. They are very, very good, capable partners. But it's a whole regime behind this. This is the reporting side. And once we do this, we are current and in good stead until about June. You know, we should be bringing the new data forward for 2024. So June, July, and by August, the same process should be undertaken and then posted to the website.
Any other questions for Cliff?
On a side note to all of this, 13 plus pages, the citizens of Biggs can purchase solar.
Absolutely.
Okay. And they just unable to store that energy and sell it back. Because.
Well, let me speak to that if I
There you
may.
go.
Our agreements allow residents to participate in solar programs. They can participate with the solar provider of their choice. And some solar providers are very accurate and honest in how they approach that whole process, and some are less accurate, less honest. But the goal of our policies is to help and allow customers to zero out the goal is to zero out their consumption. They're still under obligation to participate because they're still connected to our system. They're still on the hook for helping the whole system to cover the basic costs of infrastructure and long-term maintenance. There are some customers who get the idea that I'm going to overbuild my solar, I'm going to overbuild, and I'm going to build battery, and then arbitrage the difference, and I'm going to make money off the deal from the city.
Okay.
And that's not a circumstance that our agreements support.
Okay. Thank you.
Any public comment? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 2025-06. Content level?
I will make a motion to approve resolution 2025-06, resolution of the City Council of the City of Biggs approving the attestation of veracity for the 2023 Power Source Disclosure Report and submission of the report to the California Energy Commission.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, item D, discussion action item, update 2025 meeting schedule.
Mr. Mayor and Council, as you're aware, we've been having this conversation for a little while now. And for all intents and purposes, this proposal effectively doubles the number of meetings that the council is doing monthly, going from 1 to 2 meetings. Staff respectfully recommends that the council review and approve updated 2025 council meeting schedule, thereby implementing ordinance 437, which is an amendment to section 2.10.010 of the Biggs Municipal Code to change the city council's regular meeting schedule to the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month at 6 p.m.
Okay, any questions on this for Cliff? Any public comment? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I have a second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 9, department reports. Who wants to kick that off?
I think Bob has some
Oh, yeah, that's right.
activity report.
Yes. Sorry, I saw the blue there. Go ahead, Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very little to report from planning staff, very little development activity. One very minor fence permit application was approved in January, February. And the building permit activity is very normal for this time of year. That's all I have to report.
Mr. Mayor and Council, if I can.
Yes.
Bob, you had been asked about a high dollar item that was on a previous report. And we weren't certain at the time when that came up what it was. Can you describe for the benefit of council and the residents what that was?
Yes, that was, I believe, $1.8 million building permit. It was for the rebuild of the rice silo following the fire last year. That's what it was. We were having a little problem with our email communication with got that cleared up as well, but it was the rebuild of that, rice silo.
Thank you.
How much was it?
I believe it was
1.8
1.8 million.
Yeah, and some change.
Okay.
And the concern at the time was that, you know, my impression was that it may have been mistaken for a city expenditure, when, in fact, it's a dollar figure report of what a private entity is doing relative to the rehabilitation of their property.
Yes, and we don't get, I get the dollar numbers, I don't get addresses or what the projects were, I get a type of permit.
And when was that?
It was 3 months ago now, about when, because I asked you about it, and the next month you said you still hadn't got something, and that was
I
probably.
think, yeah, I believe,
December, I think it was December when we
Okay.
first got it.
which would have been a November building permit report.
Probably.
Yeah, and so it was, the fire was, you know, last summer.
I think it got like July or something.
Yeah, and so the permit was issued in November, and then I saw that report that I forwarded to council in December, and that's what brought this up.
But thanks for sending that email, appreciate it.
We do have some other staff reports.
Chief,
Hiding in the back.
how are you? Good, how are you? Good.
All right, good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. The February incident activity report for the fire station, a little slower